Hi, I'm the Scrub and you're here for one reason. You creative guys can't slack off. We need to come up with another dungeon for patch 5.2.
But we're all out of ideas.
Out of ideas? Come on, just come up with something. Like, I don't know, Sastasha but with jazz music. Now please just come up with something for patch 5.2. We've got a deadline to meet.
Jazzy Sastasha sound good for everyone else?
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
I think it's good.
I like it.
Let's get lunch. Time to learn about Anamnesis Anyder. Simplified. If you're using the duty support system, I'd recommend single pulling this dungeon. The opening area for this dungeon is the small piece of grass on the front of Bismarck. As you walk forward, 3 enemies will spawn in. The Zoman will cast Mantle Drill, which is a straight line AoE that is attached to the main tank. Tanks don't stray too far away with this AoE. When you defeat each mob, another one will swim into the arena. The Fawabo that spawns in will cast Spine Lash, which is a conal AoE. And it can also cast Flood, which is a point blank AoE around itself. After everything has been defeated, you'll make your way through the sea floor. 2 rocks will fall into the arena. After attacking them, they will emerge as Dagger Knights. They will both cast Sewer Water, which will be a semicircle AoE in front or behind them. When these have both been defeated, an overly large jellyfish will swim into the arena. Rock Hard will be an AoE underneath a random party member's feet. Just try and keep your minds out of the gutter for a moment. Torrential Torment is a conal AoE directed towards a random party member. If you get hit by this, you'll get an Insurable Heavy debuff. When this mob has been defeated, the Bismarck train will terminate at its next stop. You can make your way down the path and around the corner to the first boss. Fetid Fang is a tank buster. The Unknown will move into the middle of the arena, create many AoEs, and cast Scrutiny. There will only be 3 safe zones in the area. The boss will have a moving arrow circling it, which will slow down and move 4 more ticks around the boss until it stops. It will always stop on one of the safe areas, so you'll need to be standing in one of the other 2 safe areas to dodge the conal AoE of Reflection, which will give you a Vuln stack if you get hit by it. You'll also get a Vuln stack per AoE you get hit by around the arena. The boss will turn to a random party member and cast Luminous Ray, which is a charging cast of an untelegraphed straight line AoE. You'll need to move to the side to dodge the attack. You'll get a Vuln stack and a hard hit if you get hit by it. Inscrutability is a room-wide AoE that will also give a bleeding dot tick to all party members. When the Unknown casts Scrutiny for the second time, a second Unknown will spawn into the arena. This one will repeat the mechanics of the first Unknown. Ectoplasmic Ray is a stack marker. Group up to share the damage. Both of them will cast Clear Out, which is a conal AoE in front of them, and also cast Setback, which is a conal AoE behind them. Both of these will give you a Vuln stack if you get hit by them. When you defeat one Unknown, the remaining one will cast Plain Weirdness, which will give it a damage up for the rest of the fight. Mechanics will repeat until both Unknowns have been defeated. Head over the hill and pick up the 3 squibs. As you approach the next pack, the Clinoid will consume 3 of the leeches around it and gain the buff of Fully Grown, which will increase its damage dealt and gives it more health. It also casts Acrid Stream, which is a point blank AoE below a random party member. Group everything up and nuke it all down. When everything has been defeated, the barrier will disintegrate and 3 more mobs will aggro you. The Harpooner will cast Hydro Ball, which is a conal AoE that will give you an Incinerable Silence debuff if you get hit by it. Drag these 3 mobs around the path of water through the opening on the right. Head across to the ramp on the other side of the area and group up everything with the pack of mobs at the top of this ramp. There will also be casting mobs, so tanks, make sure that you group them up as best you can. The Harpooner will cast Hydro Ball again, and the Diviner casting mobs will cast Dreadstorm, which is a point blank AoE below random party members. Dodge out of them to avoid them. Kill everything, the door will open, and it's second boss time. The final verse is a room-wide AoE. The boss will either cast 2000 Minna Swing or Eye of the Cyclone. 2000 Minna Swing is a large point-blank AoE around the boss. You'll need to get far away from it to avoid it. If you get hit by it, you'll get a harsh knockback and a Vuln stack. You can also avoid the knockback with Knockback Immunity. Eye of the Cyclone is a donut AoE with the only safe spot being close to the boss. If you don't get into the safe zone, you'll get a Vuln stack. 2000 Minna Swipe is a conal AoE directed towards the main tank. You can dodge out of this to avoid it, as if you get hit by it, you'll get a Vuln stack. The boss will then move into the middle of the room and cast both Terrible Blade and Terrible Hammer. This will put down symbols of either a dagger or a hammer on alternate squares around the arena. The order they are put down will be the same order that they will go off in. So if hammer was put down first, you'll need to stand in the squares where the dagger symbol is and wait for the hammers to land in the arena before moving into those squares and dodge the daggers. If you get hit by any of these squares as they go off, you'll be tossed into the air and given a Vuln stack. Kyclops will turn to a random party member and cast Raging Glower. This is a straight line AoE directed towards this person. You'll need to step to the side to avoid it. If you get hit by it, you'll get a Vuln stack. Open Hearth as a stack marker. Group up to share the damage. Everyone will get point blank AoEs with the hit of Wanderer's Pyre. Spread out and avoid overlapping these. From here, mechanics will overlap and repeat until Kyclops has been defeated. Head out of the boss room and turn right. Head down the ramp on the left and pull the Harpooners. Watch out for the conal AoE casts of Hydro Ball. Pull these mobs to the bottom of the ramp and around the corner to the left. When you turn the corner, the Diviners tether to crystals and start casting Recharge. If these casts finish, there will be extra ads that will spawn in. If the Panops spawn in, they will cast Retinal Glare, which which is a large conal AoE. And if the EO spawns in, it will cast Barreling Smash, which will target random party members with a straight line AoE that will follow them until the cast finishes. This mob will then get close to that party member. The length of the AoE doesn't matter in determining the damage, so you can get as close or as far away as you like. Now you can stop here and kill everything before moving on if you want, but if you're confident in you and your party's abilities, you can continue pulling to the trio of mobs ahead of you, and even still, you can continue all the way around the corner to the next set of diviners. You can wait for everything to spawn in, or try and defeat the diviners as fast as possible to stop extra adds from spawning in. There will be a lot of mobs for this pull, and it is one of the largest pulls in the game that you can do, so make sure that you mitigate and even use a magical range limit break to help with the mobs. Kill everything. When everything has been defeated, the door will open and you can head into the next area. Final boss time. Bonebreaker is a tank buster. The boss will move to either the north or south side of the arena and cast Seabed Ceremony, which is a room-wide AoE. Every cast of Seabed Ceremony will change the arena slightly for specific mechanics. The middle of the arena will get a watery puddle through it, so the arena will effectively be cut in half. If you stand in any of these puddles, you'll get a dropsy dot tick for as long as you stand in it. The cast of Depth Grip will summon giant hands of water out of the puddle. These hands will be facing opposite directions. Two players will get a point-blank AoE with the cast of Falling Water. Don't overlap these and spread these out as best you can. As the AoEs go off, their hands will slap in front of them in a wave of water and disappear. If you get hit by the wave of water, you'll get a Von stack, so you'll need to stand behind a hand as you spread out. The boss will then cast Rising Tide, which is a straight line AoE on the sides and in front of the boss. You'll just need to dodge out of these to avoid them. If you get hit by this, it will give you a Von stack. After this goes off, the arena will return to normal. There will then be ripples coming from 4 vents, 2 on either side of the arena. All players will need to stand on 1 vent each. When the player stands on a vent, the splashing from the vent will stop. If a vent is not being stood on when the next cast of Seabed Ceremony ends, then an ad will spawn into the arena. These ads will tether to the boss and cause it to become invulnerable to all attacks until the ads are defeated. The next cast of Seabed Ceremony will create puddles on both sides of the arena. These puddles will get 4 hands that will rise out of it starting from one end of the arena. Players will have to stand on the opposite side of the arena to where the first hand spawned in. There will be a safe zone as there won't be a hand on the end of the row. Players will need to wait until all 4 hands have gone off before popping sprint and running to the other end of the arena to avoid the entire second row of hands from hitting them. Again, any hand you get hit by will give you a Von stack. There is also a trick where you can stand where the second hand spawns in and move into where the first hand is just as it goes off. This makes you avoid the second hand and subsequently avoid the rest of the hands, as you'll already be in the final safe zone for the mechanic. After another tank buster, the boss will jump into the middle of the room and all 8 vents will begin to splash with ripples. The boss will then cast another Depth Grip and 4 hands will rise from the water on the sides of the arena. All players will need to stand on a vent that is on the opposite side of a hand to prevent the ads from spawning in. As the next cast finishes, the hands will slap the floor and kill the ads as they spawn in from the vents. Again, if you get hit by a hand, you'll get a Von stack, and if an ad spawns in from the vent, it will tether to the boss and make it invulnerable until you defeat the ad. Flying Fount is a stack marker. Group up to share the damage. The boss will jump into the middle of the room and cast Command Current, which will spawn 8 conal AoEs around it in pairs. There will be a safe zone between each pair. If you get caught in an AoE here, you'll get a Von stack. The tank busters, half room cutoff, and walls of hands will repeat until the boss has been defeated. Congratulations, you have completed Anamnesis Anyder. My name is The Scrub. Thank you for watching.